Welcome to part 1 of my 2-part solo travel series, where I reveal to you my top tips for solo travel beginners, helping you gain confidence and have a stress-free trip.
Hi, I'm Rachel and welcome to my channel. I have been solo traveling for about 3 years now and I'm also a photographer and content creator. I'm going to be sharing with you things everyone needs to know before heading off on a solo trip. And I've broken these things down into 4 different categories. The first category is things you need to bring with you, so physical items that you need to buy before the trip. The second category is financial tips to help make your money go just that little bit further. Category 3, which will be in part 2 of the series, is health and mental wellness and how to keep that up while you're traveling, especially on long-term trips. And 4, which is the most important, is essential safety tips that you need to know while you're traveling alone. Because safety is important, and let's face it, it is the #1 priority on your trip. Now let's get started. So first up is safety related items, and this first item I actually haven't used myself, but I feel like it's definitely something I want to get for future trips, and that is some sort of doorstop. When you're staying in hotels or Airbnbs or somewhere where other people can still get into your room, whether it be the front desk or something like that, it's important to have something to, stop that from happening. It's never happened to me, but I have heard stories from other solo travelers who have had people walk into their room while they're still inside or they're having a shower and stuff like that. So getting a doorstop could be a great way. There's several different types. You could get one that goes into the lock and you twist it in, or there's another more high-tech one where it's like a doorstop on the bottom, like you would use to keep a door open, but you put it on the bottom and it actually has an alarm that goes off when it gets pushed open. So if you're sleeping and someone tries to get in, it's going to wake you up. You could also go old school, just get like a normal small little doorstop with a plastic one to put in there, that'll still work. And then of course there's the chair trick where you put the chair behind the door, but I've stayed in some pretty cheap places and they don't always have chairs. So having like a little doorstop with you could definitely help keep you safe and make life easier. Next up is a first aid kit. This is especially important if you plan on doing any type of hiking. At the very least, have like antiseptic and band-aids with you to help with those blisters that you might get from a full day of walking. That's the most I've had to use my first aid kit for. Knock on wood, that doesn't change. Another important thing to get that I feel like a lot of people don't think about is RFID safe wallet or an RFID safe little card slips that you can put your card into. Something that did happen to me once was my credit card did get skimmed while it was in my wallet because of the wireless tap feature credit cards have these days. All the person has to do is just stand near you with like a device and they can get all your credit card details and start spending money on your credit card. Someone spent over $2,000 on mine. So getting an RFID safe wallet is definitely a good way to stop this from happening. If those are a bit too expensive for you, you can get the little sleeves off Amazon. It's just like little card sleeves, and you can get ones for your passport too, because a lot of people don't realize your passport has that same technology and people could try and steal your identity. So those are 2 things to make sure you do to keep your cards and your identity safe. And then another little bonus thing would be to consider getting a VPN for your travels. A lot of the time when you're traveling, you're using like free Wi-Fi and stuff like that. Those are unsecured networks, and sometimes people can actually hack into those and have access to your phone and personal information while you're connected to that network. Also, I liked having a VPN on my Europe trip because it meant I would have access to some of the streaming services that I like to use that aren't available in Europe. So that's also an added bonus. This is another thing that's going to only really relate if you're traveling long term, and that's laundry items. And there are 2 main things for that that'll help you on your long-term trips, and that's a portable clothesline, which you can get off Amazon, and you can just hang your stuff over that, just put it up in the bathroom or something, or laundry detergent sheets. And it's basically just like detergent in like almost like a thin piece of paper. You just rip off a little square and you put it straight into the washer to wash your clothes. That way you don't have to worry about getting liquid, you don't have to worry about carrying the liquid around with you. I did stay at a hostel in Edinburgh and I was speaking to one of the girls and she literally bought liquid detergent and she had been lugging it around, and I told her about my like sheets and she was like, oh my god, like she was shocked, like she was so annoyed she didn't think of that. So get laundry detergent sheets. They're lightweight, they take up like no room in your bag, and you'll thank me later. Also for laundry and just general purposes, I like to bring a tote bag with me, just something that's like fabric that you can fold up and just like squeeze into the corner of your bag. I used it for so many purposes. As a laundry bag, if I needed to get groceries, put it all in that bag. It's very helpful to have just a small little tote bag with you. The next item you really want to bring with you and actually save you some money is a filtered water bottle. There are so many different types you can get, so many different types of filters you can get, and what you get is really going to depend on where you're going because some places require more filtration than others. So for my 3-month Europe trip, I ended up going with a water purifier bottle that was also self-cleaning. It uses UV rays to kill the bacteria, germs, and molds within the bottle. So it was very helpful because it meant I didn't have to keep washing it and get that gross smell that comes from reusable water bottles. It kept itself clean and I would wash it every few weeks instead of having to do it every day. So that's a lot easier when you're on the road and you don't always have access to a kitchen. The brand is called Lark, and I'll leave a link below. Next up, and I cannot go on a solo trip without this, and that is a tripod. Now, I know some of you might not be photographers and that's not going to be like a main thing for you, but even if you're not, you don't want to have to keep relying on other people or keep having to do that selfie look. You want to have a bit more of a variety in your photos so you can look back and really enjoy them, and a tripod is a really good way to do that. They have plenty of different types. You can get a gorilla pod, which has the movable twisty legs, that way you can like twist it around different poles and trees. It's very like versatile. For me personally, I prefer proper tripods because you can set it up everywhere. The brand that I use is called Me Photo. It's got some cheaper travel tripods, or if you take photos on your phone all the time, you can get special ones made for your phone, and there's plenty of those around on Amazon. And then another must-have item that I never leave my accommodation without is this. It is a portable phone charger. It's small, it's compact, you can see it like fits in the palm of my hand. It's a little bit bigger than the palm of my hand, but this is a good one because it's fast charging, which is important. You don't want to have to be connecting your phone to a charger all day. You want to only have it on for a bit and then take it off. And it has like a little screen where you tap the button and it tells you how much charge is left. It's got USB-A port and 2 USB-C ports, and I love this charger. I got it just before my trip. It's very sturdy, works well. The brand is Signet, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'll link it below. It's a really good one. It has enough charge to charge your phone 2 times over. And so the last thing I have for you that you should buy, and this is if you're going international, is to get an eSIM. Now you can get a SIM card when you arrive, but that means you're gonna have to take your own one out, and then you have to make sure you don't lose your normal one, and then it means you're not gonna get texts or messages coming through. If you need it for like 2-factor authentication and stuff, like you're not gonna just take it out, put it in, take it out. Like it's very annoying. So a way around this is to get eSIM. You leave your normal SIM card in there, set it to allow Wi-Fi calling. That way you'll still receive text messages and stuff. It'll come through the Wi-Fi and the internet rather than like the cellular data network. So that way you'll have access to your normal text messages. So most eSIMs don't come with a phone number, they'll just come with data. And then if you do need to call, you could probably go through a third-party app like WhatsApp.
A good eSIM brand is Holify. I actually used them for my 3-month Europe trip.
They're good as well because they have unlimited data. So that was extremely helpful to me. They are a bit more expensive because of that, but it's worth it for long-term trips. I think if it's just a short-term trip, it won't really matter too much. Just go with the cheaper one. Nomad is good, and Airlo is another one. Just cross-reference them because some will have better deals for some countries than others. Now onto my second category, which is financial tips. Solo travel can be expensive. You've got no one to split your costs with, so you're paying full price for your flights, for your accommodation, which are probably the most pricey things of the entire trip. So one way I like to help offset these costs is with credit card points and travel hacking. If you're a traveler and you don't have a travel credit card yet, you are just doing yourself a disservice. Go apply for one now. These can really help you save a lot of money, especially with the sign-up bonuses that come with them. For my trip, I was able to save over $1,000 because of credit card points. You get it before your trip, you put all your daily expenses on it, put your rent on it if you can, put your bills on it, all your normal everyday expenses, and they will add up and earn you points. So when you're choosing a travel credit card, it's important to consider a few things. That is, does the card cost money? You're gonna have to pay an annual fee for it, or is it free? Obviously the ones that cost money are gonna give you the better deals, they're gonna give you more points, they're gonna give you special perks. The one I have has lounge access perks, so you don't have to weigh that up. If I knew I was going to the airport, I would skip the meal and have it when I got to the lounge. It saved me so much money on food. Another thing to consider is of course the sign-up bonuses. An important thing to look into is whether or not the card has exchange rate fees. Most of the time, if it is a travel credit card, they shouldn't have it, but definitely double check. If you're in Australia, Qantas frequent flyer cards are good. They have plenty of different ones with MasterCard, Visa, and Amex. Consider where you like to travel most or where you're going on your next trip. If you're heading to Europe or Southeast Asia or something, you're not going to really want to get Amex. Most don't accept American Express, but if you're going to America, obviously American Express will be great and you can get some great deals and bonuses through them. Another way to just be more careful with your finances is reading the fine print. When you're a solo traveler and if you book tours and things like that, especially multi-day tours that have hotels you need to stay overnight, make sure you check for a single supplement fee. Most companies will try and charge you this, but a lot of the time you can get out of this fee by ticking the box that says you're happy to share your room with someone else, and they'll pay you with another solo traveler. Check and see what happens if they can't find another solo traveler. I know there are some tours that I've looked at that say if they don't find one one, they'll charge you the fee anyway. And there are other tours that I've seen where if they don't find one, then you don't get charged the fee anyway, and you get the room to yourself without having to pay more. So make sure you double check that. When you're traveling abroad and you're paying for things with credit card and the little credit card machine says what currency do you want to pay in, always, and I mean always, choose the currency for the country that you are physically in. Don't choose your home country currency, because the store, whatever financial institution they're using, is going to do the currency conversion, and the exchange rate isn't going to be as good as using your bank's exchange rate. So always choose the currency for the country that you are in. Another thing to make sure you have is cash on hand. I recommend exchanging cash in your home country before you go on your trip. Just have a little bit to start you off, and then you can get more later. I would get the Wise card. Wise is a website where basically you can transfer money between different bank accounts from different countries and currencies without all the bank fees that are normally involved in that. And they've actually come out with a debit card, so you can load money onto your account and spend it like a normal debit card and take money out like a normal debit card. And you can convert your cash. So let's say you put Australian dollars into your account, but you're in Europe. On your app, you can convert those Australian dollars to euros. That way, when you get to an ATM and you need to take money out, it's going to take the euros out and it's not going to charge you a conversion fee.
And that is it for part 1 of this video.
I hope you found it helpful for your next solo adventure. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this.
And hit that notification button so you don't miss part 2.
See you guys in the next one.